This 2025 Masters Update, live from Augusta, is brought to you by Zions Bank, Black Desert Resort, and Siegfried and Jensen on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. JJ and Alex. Our program is brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G Bar the perfect protein bar. In fact, they're handing them out by the dozens out here on the plaza here. I'd like to say that we brought – you know what, Sly? Why not? A little viral marketing. I'll do it. Come on down. We're providing some G2G bars for you. Hey, look, we're the home of the we're the home of the G2G bars. They're our title sponsor. They just so happen to be also a partner with the folks over here at the hockey club and the Jazz. So yeah, it helps. But
great bars. We love them.
Phenomenal.
What's your favorite flavor?
The chocolate peanut butter. All right. Not that I know.
Nonchalantly,
I didn't have to think about it. Yes. Let's kick things off here. The top of the hour brought to you by Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com. Also kicking off your 5 o'clock hour. He is Bob Casper. He, of course, is Real Golf Radio host. He and Brian Taylor, BT, do a phenomenal job covering this Masters. It's their 25th that they have covered together. And then I won't mention all the years on top of that Bob has done as well. But Bob Casper joining us live after the first round of the Masters. Justin Rose had himself a day there, Bob. That was quite a showing on a Thursday.
Yeah, he played some great golf, and he talked about it in his press conference when he came in to meet with the media after the round, and he said he just got off to a good start, made a nice 25-footer that kind of settled the nerves, and then followed that up with a birdie. That was at 1, and birdie at 2, and a birdie at 3, and he got to 3 under par pretty quick, and just kind of kept it going.
You know, when we were talking about with Brian yesterday, how important it is to get a good start at the Masters. I mean, that goes without saying, but in particular this tournament, if you can get yourself in the top 10 after the first day, the odds of you making it into the top 10 by the end of the tournament are pretty good. Yeah. Why is it that that's the case on such a difficult golf course? And of course, the course showed today how difficult it can be. You had a mix of low scores and guys who were, starting to struggle. And man, I don't know how many Masters I've watched on TV, probably, between 30 and 35 of them myself. But guess what? I just get fooled by those greens. They're so hard to see on TV anyway, but you get so fooled by the greens, and I go, these poor pros who know everything about golf, and they know these greens, and yet it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you practice. It is so hard to dial in those putting surfaces.
Yeah, Justin Rose, 3 clear of Corey Connors and Scotty Scheffler and Ludwig Aubert at 4 under par, and then Tyrrell Hatton and Bryson DeChambeau at 3 under par. Rory McIlroy was interesting. You're talking about those things that you don't see on the golf course that are extremely tough, and one of them is the 15th hole. That green slopes away from you towards the pond when you get over the green, and that's where Rory was in 2. He was at 4 under par, and he just got a little too aggressive with the pitch shot. It ran past the hole, down and off the green into the water, and he ends up making double bogey there and another double bogey on the 16th hole to finish it even par for the tournament. He gave away a beautiful round when he was tied for second, and it's really, really frustrating. What you don't see on television is the slope and the undulation that are in these greens, and where Rays Creek is on. Predominantly, the grain of the grass goes towards Rays Creek. So anytime you've got something going from the upper property down to the lower property to the south, to the southwest, then you know that the putts are going to roll a lot faster. And then you combine the undulation and the slopes in the greens, it becomes even more and more difficult. But it's the type of golf course where you can score. You can score really well. And you could take advantage of some things, but it's the type of golf course, if you get out of position at all, just a little bit, you kind of have to be not as aggressive and be more smart and try to make a par and keep things going and move on, which Rory wasn't able to do.
I watched that stretch of Rory. I think he was in one of the featured groups that I was streaming at the moment.
Yep.
Between 7 and 10, and he birdied 8 and 9, and it was such a good stretch. And you were like, oh, he's kind of feeling something right now. And he was going. Then he got and then he got a birdie at 13. And you're going, okay, he's 4 under. I mean, his big struggles have been these Thursdays. How can you come back from a 6-stroke deficit after day one? And again, even par is not, I watched Justin, or I think I watched, it was Justin Thomas maybe last year or the year before. That Thursday's been a problem for him too. I saw him card, I think, a 76 on one of the Thursdays and a 75 on another. And being in that +3, +4 range is just so hard to come back from. Is even par after day one, that's not a total disaster though, right?
No, it's not a total disaster, but he's looking at what he did in his 2 out of his last 4 holes, and that's not going to sit well with him tonight. But he'll come back out tomorrow. He'll reassess, and hopefully he just gets right back on the horse and he shoots a really, really good score. Tony Finau shot 3 over today. Probably very disappointed with what he was able to do, but you know what? The average cut line score is around 3 to 4 over par every year.
Yeah.
So Tony's not out of it. I remember one year I was here with my dad, and we were watching, and I think Curtis Stream shot maybe 78 the first round, and he came back with a 64 in the second round and got to 2 under par, and then he shot another really good low score like 66 or 64, and was leading the golf tournament going to the last day, and ended up losing the golf tournament to Seve Ballesteros. But you can play yourself out, but you can also get yourself back into it if you have a good round in round 2.
I was watching, too, Ashke Bhatia, who's an interesting story because
Yes.
he's a guy who is the very first drive, chip, and putt participant at the Masters. They have so much video now of these guys, and it's not that long ago that not like he's put on much weight since then, but an absolute just like gangly 12-year-old out there participating in that drive, chip, and putt, and then here he is playing the Masters in his second Masters, but he's also 2 under, and he's one of these guys to me that I'm like, he's pretty crafty out there, which is what you have to be on this course.
Yeah, the interesting thing in that you brought him up, but he and Ludwig Oberg played with Rory today. Ludwig was even par for the tournament through 11 holes, and he made 4 birdies coming in from that point, and he finished at 4 under par.
Tied for second, yep.
Yeah, Bhatia was 2 over par through 12 holes, and then he was 1 over par after 16, and he birdied 17, 18, or 16, 17, and 18, and was able to get in the house at 2 under par, where Rory kind of shot himself in the foot with those 2 double bogeys. But Akshay Bhatia is a great player. He won his first event on the PGA Tour a year ago in San Antonio that got him into the Masters, and he's not a guy that is intimidated by being in the big spotlight, being in a group with both those guys, Ludwig Oberg and Rory McIlroy, both in the top 10 in the world. Great, phenomenal players. Akshay Bhatia is a great player, and it was really, really fun to watch him today.
Bob Casper, Real Golf Radio. You can hear him every Saturday right here on the KSL Sports Zone in the morning, and he and Brian Taylor do a phenomenal job. And obviously, Masters Week is one of those set key pieces that they do every year from Augusta. Bob, what does Friday look like for you? What's kind of the wisdom on a Friday typically going into round 2 of the Masters tournament?
Well, the guys that are down the leaderboard a little bit are guys that are going to have to go out, and they're going to have to get a little bit more aggressive and try to make some birdies and get back in the golf tournament. Make sure that they can stay inside the cut line, like Tony Finau, like John Rahm. Those guys are at 3 over par. You've also got Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth. Those guys are at 1 over par. All those guys need to shoot under par tomorrow to make sure that they get inside the cut line and are able to score the last 36 holes. But guys like Scheffler and Aubert and and Bryson DeChambeau, and those guys all, they just need to continue to do what they're doing. I was watching Scotty Scheffler today, and he does really, really well. He made 2 long putts on par 3s today on the 4th and the 16th hole, but he scores well on the par 5s, and he was able to birdie the 2 par 5s on the front 9. Didn't birdie one on the back 9, but he got to 4 under par, and it almost seems like it was a very uneventful, kind of nonchalant, kind of lazy 4 under par round, and here he is at the end at 4 under par and tied for second. So I expect more of that from Scotty Scheffler. I think he's the guy that's the cream of the crop right now. And Justin Rose, of course, he's been in this position 5 times. He's been leading after the first round 5 times, and he's yet to finish the deal off. But he's got some really good players coming behind him.
Bob Casper, he's live at Augusta, and he's going to be out there all weekend long. And I'm sure we're going to be able to dip in with you guys over the next few days and then get a full debrief also next week as well. So we appreciate you joining us and giving us those updates down there from Augusta. And it's so much fun to watch. I don't know if there's a person that I'm more jealous of on the entire planet than you and BT this time of year. When I see one, I love the game, but I also just love being able to follow the Masters. It's so fun to watch. But you know what? It's just a dream what you guys are able to do out there, and it's really fun to listen to on these Saturdays especially. So thanks for hanging out with us, man. We appreciate it.
We really appreciate it, and we enjoy coming on with you guys.
All right, there you go. Bob Casper, everybody, Real Golf Radio.